Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. We're going to take our October look at Flesh and Blood box sales data off of TCG Player. As usual, I've set the horizontal axis to show us 2 months, and I'll remind you that we had a bonus buck sale on the platform back on September 13th. And so you can see right here, this big jump was the bonus buck sale. This one was not. It was after the sale. And this one was not. That was, interestingly, 12 boxes bought on one day of Welcome to Wraith Unlimited. So, like usual, I'll start out with the original 3 sets unlimited boxes, Welcome to Wraith, Arcane Rising, and Crucible of War. And we see prices over the entirety of the 2-month period reasonably steady. I mean, the red line of Arcane Rising, yeah, it's up $5-6. The blue line of Welcome to Wraith, it's down probably $1 or $2, and the yellow line of Crucible of War, yeah, it's up 15. I mean, that's a lot better. But we can go over to the month-over-month table, which, as usual, is going to show us September box sales, October box sales, the month-over-month percentage difference in them, September box price, October box price, the month-over-month percentage difference in that, and those prices are the average sales price for the entire month. They are not any type of weighted average. They are not the final price, anything like that. It's the average of all the transactions during the entire month. And then I multiply those together and I get the revenue numbers in the same way. And so what we see is Welcome to Wraith went from 25 to 42 boxes, a 68% increase in the course of the month. Arcane Rising jumping from 19 to 33, and Crucible of War from 8 down to 7. Very slow sales on these very old products. The interesting thing is watching the market depth, like I've been doing for a couple of months on these early first 3 boxes of Flesh and Blood. The market depth is getting very thin. Now, for Welcome to Wraith, it's still the deepest of these 3. We're probably looking at it not crossing $100 price point until another 6 to 12 months from now. There are still quite a few boxes out there below the $100 mark. For Arcane Rising, of course, we're already over $100 a box. The average sales price during October was $107 per box, and we're probably looking at $200 price point sometime in the next 6 months, just based on the sell-through rate and the very thin amount of products still in the market. Crucible of War will probably get above that $100 mark in the next 3 months. So moving on, we'll take a look at Monarch First Edition, Tales First Edition, and Everfest First Edition. Plot them up here. Much more erratic price action, but keep in mind the vertical axis only spans $20 from top to bottom. And again, we can see some of these big vertical jumps of people buying large amounts of boxes on one day, 30 boxes in one day for the yellow line of Everfest in this period. And back here in September, remember September 13th was that last bonus buck sale that we had. So going back to the month over month table, a 27% increase in Monarch First Edition sales from 55 up to 70 during the month. 56% increase in Tales of Aria First Edition going from 45 to 70, and Everfest First Edition from 69 to 100, a 45% increase. Prices down a bit on Monarch First Edition. You know, I've seen that, and it's been very interesting. You see the average sales price for Monarch First Edition during October was $51. Back in September, it was $60. And I cannot imagine having held Monarch First Edition for 3 years now, held it for 3 years and capitulate at this point. I could understand back in the past to have capitulated at some point, but to hold it this long and get out this far and then suddenly decide you'll give up any opportunity to make money off of this product. You'll sell it at a point where after the fees and the shipping, you're not even breaking even. So Everfest, of course, the unlimited printing of that was destroyed. We've known that for many months now, and so we expect to see these higher sell-through numbers because there is no substitute from the unlimited version of them. And we'll take a quick stop with History Pack Volume 1 like we always do. It took the round trip from $90 up to $105 and then back down to about $89 over the course of 2 months. And again, we're seeing some kind of interesting, very big bump in sales here. I wonder if one person came through on that day and just bought up large positions in several of these early boxes. History Pack would be kind of an odd one. I would much rather have the individual black bordered boxes of the expansions that are contained within the History Pack. Going to the month-over-month table for this product, only a scant increase from 31 to 40 boxes during the month. And again, if we just look at September compared to October, the average of each, the price was down by 7%. Moving to Fab 2.0, Uprising, Dynasty, and Outsiders. Seeing a couple more of these interesting jumps. I wonder if I'm just imagining something interesting here. I'll have to go back and look at the raw data afterwards and see. Here's the bonus buck sale and small jumps on each of these. On the month-over-month table, we're going to see a 96% increase in Uprising sales in October compared to September, a 14% decrease for Dynasty, and a 53% increase for Outsiders. The next block, Dusk Till Dawn, Bright Lights, and Heavy Hitters. A little more erratic again on the pricing action, going up and down, vacillating a lot during the period. Of course, the vertical axis here is $30. No evidence of any type of large single-day purchases there. And bringing up the month-over-month table, 52% decline in Dusk Till Dawn boxes in October from September, 13% decline for Bright Lights, and 19% decline for Heavy Hitters. Prices, 15% increase on Heavy Hitters. That's almost interesting, but when you couple it with the box decline, it just means there wasn't very much going on in the market. Not a lot of boxes coming on or off the market, and not a lot of dealers paying much attention. And finally, Part the Mist Veil and Rosetta. We'll plot these up there. Again, we see the bonus buck sale back here in September, but nothing else interesting out there. Of course, October will have been the second month that Rosetta was in full release. It released, I believe, September 20th. And so we see that strong sales in September when it was new, and then we see it predictably drop off. So a drop of 68% month over month. Part the Mist Veil up 56% over month, and the prices just kind of meandering around. Nothing really interesting there. Now we'll take Rosetta, Part the Mist Veil. We'll go back 4 sets, and we'll plot them against each other. So what we're going to do here is have the horizontal axes aligned to days since release for each product's relative timeline. And so we line up the day that each of these products release so we can see how they compare to each other in their own lifetimes. And we see that truncated blue line of Rosetta not managing to climb up there with Heavy Hitters and Part the Mist Veil, and only barely staying up that low floor made by Bright Lights. Certainly the worst received set so far in Flesh and Blood history. So I do these updates every month. I've done them every month for at least 30 months now. I can never keep track, but I have a lot of old data for these products. Some of it is very interesting. Subscribe so you don't miss these updates and all the rest of my content. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my very generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.